Yeah, he's just sort of the legend of Patrick Waugh sort of thing. And it was funny. I remember thinking when I first got there, uh, he had hired a goalie coach, to work for the team. So it was like, that's a little weird, but like, wouldn't he be doing that sort of thing? But yeah, no, it was mesmerizing for a while, to have this guy as your coach. He's, one of the most famous hockey players to ever play, and probably one of the most passionate guys on the ice you could ever watch. And like I said, I learned a lot from him at that time. I mean, I never really learned about, what it took to win, or, what it took to play in the playoffs and stuff like that. And that guy instilled, the desire to win every night. And I ultimately carried that with me to the end of my career. But playing for him, like, I've never seen like anybody control a room like this guy. Like when he walks in the door, it's like immediate silence and just like pure respect. But I was saying before, facilities there were like top notch, unreal. Like I couldn't imagine any other junior team has anything like it. And he was taking me on this tour when he had my family down, and there's this training room where you like cut your sticks and get all your sticks ready. And there's a picture of him, huge, like the size of the wall, after he fought Chris Osgood and his eye was bleeding. It's just on the wall. And I'm looking at this thing like, oh my gosh, this is real life. And it's just like, if there's one picture that sums him up, like his passion, it was that picture. And it's just staring you in the eye every day. It was unbelievable. And it's just like, you better put your best foot forward or else, sort of thing. So it was pretty crazy to be in that atmosphere, but ultimately it was unreal.
So what arena is that? Where do they play? What was the
So yeah, they were in the old, where the Nordiques used to play,
is right what it is, eh?
in
Okay.
the old Colisée Pepsi. Yeah, but since then, I don't know how many years ago now, maybe 3 or 4, they got a brand new one built right across the street. But yeah, we were playing in the old barn, which was unreal.
That would be unreal. That's really cool. So then you did pretty well, but you joined the party late. So then what options do you have out of major junior?
Yeah, that's, you said it pretty well, perfect. Like I think I had 2 pretty good years, but sort of like too little, too late, sort of thing. Usually when you sign in pro, being an overager, like a 20-year-old, you have like outstanding years, and mine was sort of just, it was good, but it wasn't really flashy or anything like that. So I wanted to go pro, and um, I didn't really get any sniffs or anything that I really wanted. So um, that's when basically all the Canadian schools started calling, and to be honest, I did not want to go on that route. I never wanted to go back to school ever again. So that was tough to sort of deal with. And I bit the bullet and ultimately came back home and went to Carleton in Ottawa.
Because doesn't it work that unless you're like, don't if you play pro for a year, you lose your school package in those leagues? Is that not how it works?
I think you have to sit out however many years you play pro. So like if I had have gone after junior and then decided to go to school, I would have to cancel a year of my eligibility in school, for however many years I played pro, sort of thing.
But you'd
So
still get the classes
yeah,
paid for.
obviously I didn't have to. Yeah. Yes, that's true, but I would not be able to play hockey, which, I mean, I probably wouldn't have went to school if I couldn't play hockey. So
Yeah. Okay. So what was your major?
I'm a psych major, and I graduated. I actually did better than I thought I would. My first year, I was a terrible student. Like I said, it was the last place I wanted to be. I never went to class. I failed a bunch of classes. But I really started to embrace the school life halfway through my second year, and I actually started going to every class. And to be honest, getting good marks isn't as hard as people make it seem if you actually put in the effort.
Yeah, no, yeah, actually, I just finished another course. I took a contractor construction management course.
Come on.
Yep, I just finished well, a month or two ago there. This was mid-pod season, so I did it took a little longer than expected because I was really going through it. But yeah, no, like you can always take courses and like become a well-rounded player, but like when you get older, you care more about school and you try harder. Like I remember
Yeah.
going to Western Michigan and like we didn't try very hard. Like I would do fine, but like if you just put in a little effort, you could just do just fine.
Yeah. It was, it's something I think I mean, I can only really speak for the hockey guys and athletes and stuff like that, but like hockey guys, especially like when you're coming from junior or major junior and you want to go pro, school is not where you want to be. So I feel like it's sort of, it's a natural progression that all the guys go through. They don't really like school. And then in their third and fourth year, they start figuring out that going to class really isn't that bad. And then once you go to class, you realize you soak up more information than you probably think you do. So you just sort of figure it out.
Oh
as long as
dear.
you're not falling asleep in class, then you're
Yeah, no, that wouldn't happen at Western Michigan when you when you have all the tests for yeah, a couple of the classes like there's but if you miss a class, you have to sit out a game if they catch you.
oh
So
yeah,
so it's not like you'd ever just go to the class and sleep because you already have the exams. That would never
there you
happen.
go.
Yeah. So in Carleton University though, even though that's not the route you wanted to go, you did rip it up and you were there a while, but you did play in the Universiade for Canada.
Yeah,
So what's
yeah,
that and where'd that happen?
that was an unreal experience. um it was in Kazakhstan, and it was basically the Olympics for university students. Really, it was unreal. And it wasn't the way I dreamed of representing Canada, but still an unreal experience. I think we had 25 guys made up from the Ontario University teams, and a couple of the Quebec teams as well. And yeah, we went over to Kazakhstan. We were there for 2 weeks, and just a crazy, crazy experience. And they don't hold anything back over there. They made an athletes village, and every country had their own like dormitory building. And they built brand new rinks and brand new figure skating and ski jumping, and basically everything for the real Olympics. And um, just amazing. Like I can't even explain. You hear people talk about like being able to go to other sports at the Olympics and like cheer on your country mates and stuff like that. It was a really cool thing to be part of, and having everybody else come to the hockey games and cheer you on is just sort of one common goal. And it was really cool to be able to do it.
Well, that is really cool. I actually think a kid from Kincardine here, where I'm living now, Garrett McFadden, just did that like a year or two ago. I think he was on that same team.
Is he a
Um,
D-man?
yeah, yeah,
He played at Guelph.
yep.
He wasn't on the team with me, but uh
I think it's after.
no, he wasn't. He might
No,
have been after.
it'd be after. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
that's
I
cool.
think he's there now, or someone said he's in Carlton or something, but I don't know.
Huh.
Anyways, I don't know. I just heard a rumor he was in that, but it was something about playing for Canada, and he was in university, which I'm assuming is the Universiade.
Probably the same thing. Yeah.
But basically, you go that route, and I went Western Michigan route, and I did very well there, and you did very well at Carleton. And guess what? We both end up with the Syracuse Crunch, and we both end up with about the same stat line, but you get but you get an assist, and I get a fight. So I don't know what's better.
Unreal. Yours is probably better, my friend.
I got 7 penalty minutes, but you got an assist. So
Yeah.
I don't know who won, but how was your crunch experience? Did you get to do
Um,
sudsy Sundays where everybody just goes drinking on Sundays, or is the game changed?
I think the game has changed, my friend. That experience was a whirlwind. Um, I really had no idea what I was getting myself into, and um, I left immediately after my university career. I think it was like, I don't even know, 7 days, maybe less, like 6 days right after I played my last game. And the funny thing is, um, it was my last university game. Like it meant something to me, sort of thing. And I think it was a Sunday night, and we were drinking, obviously, and not feeling very good about ourselves. And then some of the boys said we should go on a trip. And I was like, yeah, we should. Like, I don't know when I'm going to be leaving, but I had sort of figured if it wasn't the A, it would be the coast. I would be going somewhere. And so that was a Sunday night. And Tuesday night at 5 p.m., we got 12 guys in 3 vehicles, and we drove overnight to Nashville. And we spent 3 days there, I think, and just a wild time. And at the time, my Carlton coach is fielding calls from all these professional teams, like wanting me to go play for them. So I'm in Nashville, and he's calling me like midday, like this team, this team, this team. And I was like, whoa, this is too much. And then on our drive back, we drove through the night again on our way back, and he called me, and it was weird, weird, weird. It was about an hour because we crossed the border near Syracuse. And it was about an hour before we hit Syracuse. He goes, I think we're going to get you to go to Syracuse. And I tapped the driver on the shoulder. I was like, you might want to drop me off all the way by, sort of thing. I was just joking, obviously. But we got back from Nashville, and 2 days later, I went immediately to Syracuse. And yeah, it was an eye-opening experience, to say the least. Obviously, it didn't go as planned. But I mean, like you said, I got an assist, and
Good for you.
obviously I wish it went a little better, but such is life. And basically after that, I was like, I'm going to Europe. I'm done with this stuff. And that's when I jumped to Germany.
It's very interesting because I went to the Crunch after, like you said, university meant something to me. I had been with my brothers for 4 years,
Yeah.
and we all got put out, and we did get into one like you did for a few days. And then I had heard I was leaving right away, and then nothing was happening. And then it's like 2 weeks later, and then they're like, well, it's time to go now. And
Yeah.
I haven't skated. It's been a
Nothing.
yeah. And then you get there, they don't even give you the sticks you can use. You're using some
No.
random guy's sticks. And then I go out there. I can't pass to someone because like it'll go 6 feet in the air. And
Yeah.
like I haven't played hockey in weeks. And that's the biggest tryout of your life. And then you're like, well, I'm on the fourth line with the fighter. I may as well fight someone. And then you're like, you know what? I guess you guaranteed me a contract for next year, so I got to go to the coast in the A. But geez, I just want to go to Europe. So I had to suffer through Dayton, Ohio for a year. Thank goodness you didn't have to do that. But I went to the finals and almost won that. So you know what? Great times, Crunch. Good times, good times. Maybe you should sign the guys.
Almost worth it. Almost worth it.
Maybe they should sign the guys like right after their last game instead of giving them time to go to Nashville or hang out with Stretch.
Yeah,
and
would
the
be a good
boys.
idea.
Yeah, like just get them right into the games instead of giving them a couple weeks to train.
Well, a funny thing, when I got there on a Tuesday, and they had a Wednesday night game. And so I practiced the Tuesday, obviously, with the team, and it was totally normal, like no bag skate, no nothing. It was like, they were like, yeah, welcome, sort of thing, like glad to have you. But I didn't know if I was going to play the next morning. And that day after practice, Tuesday, on the TV, it said morning skate tomorrow, and my name was there. So I asked one of the guys, I was like, do players have to take the morning skate? They're like, no, usually if you're on the board, you're not playing. So I was like, oh, okay, perfect. Like, I'm going to ease into this. So I go to the rink in the morning, and one of the guys who's there, who wasn't skating, who was playing, he was like, he's been there for a long time. He goes, what are you doing here? And I said, well, my name was on the board. And he just sort of like giggled at me. And I was like, oh, okay, great. So I get out on morning skate and there's 4 of us skating. And I go up to the assistant coach at the time and I go, hey, like, am I playing tonight? And he goes, yeah. And I said, okay, what am I doing here? And he goes, oh, coach thinks like you can handle both. I got bag skated that morning and I played that night in my first game. And I was like, oh my God, what is this? I had no idea what to do. I was so in over my head.
I actually would get bag skated in the mornings. And then I would go out for warm-ups. And I would have no idea if the jersey would be in the stall after warm-ups. And I would warm
No
up
way.
on the 4th line with the fighter, and it'd be me, him, and another fighter, and we'd all be skating around, and the 2 of them would be like barking at the other team, and I'd be like trying to warm up, and then we'd come in after warm-ups, and my jersey wouldn't be there, and I'd be like, and it's like, But no, the AHL
Yeah.
was a hoot.
Uh,
Great times. So then you do go to Bad Nauheim. I forget what they're
yeah.
called. What are they called? What are
The
the
red,
Bad
the
Now
red devils. The
Red
red
Devils? I
devils.
was gonna say a fox, but that's the
That's Weisswasser.
I was gonna
No.
say, yeah, that's Lausitzer.
Yeah.
Fuchs.
Yeah.
The Fuchse. Yeah.
The Fuchse.
So you go to Bad Nauheim, and what's that experience like? I did look at the roster. I do know about 5 or 6 to 8 players, but like Harry Longe, he'd be an old boy by
Legend.
then, right? When you're playing with him.
Legend. Legend.
So how are you guys that year?
It was a great year. We had a great group of imports. There was obviously only 4 of us, but we got along really well from the start, and we had a good group of like young local kids too. It was a lot of fun, and we actually overachieved, which made it that time like so much better. Obviously, like the fans are so intense down there, and um, Nauheim's a small town, and the fans were crazy. I think we packed that place. A little bit of an interesting rink there, but it was a good home. They packed it, and it was loud, 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 and like I said, we overachieved, and it was a good time.
I'm trying to think if I ever played in Bad Nauheim. I think they came up to the second league the year I left. I think they were a third
Yeah.
league team, and then they came up when I was done there. But
So the rink, I'll tell you about the rink. The rink it was built after the Second World War, and there's only one wall. So like where the dressing rooms are is the only closed off wall to the outside. And then the rest of the walls literally just have like little eaves troughs over the stands. And that protects you if say if it was snowing or raining. And then it stops. Like there's no walls. You literally walk out of your seat, turn around, and you walk out of the rink. It's just like it was unbelievable. It was I honestly like first time I saw it, I was like, oh my gosh, what am I getting myself into? But when it was packed and like it was cold in there, it was a good place to play.
oh, there like I've talked about it on the pod, man. There's rinks over there that like when you see them, you're like, this is the most incredible thing I've ever seen. Like they're so cool and they have so much character. And then
Yeah,
like, but like, yeah, like when they're the outdoor ones, like Krimichow, I'm sure you played there.
yeah,
Um,
exactly the same. Yeah,
yeah, beauty rinks. Those ones are awesome. So I definitely didn't play in Bad Nauheim then. I would remember that for sure.
yeah.
So did you what when you say you overachieved, what does that mean? Would you make semifinals?
Well, I think like it's so weird with the like the play-ins and stuff, the playing rounds over there, right? It's like if you're in, I don't know how many teams were in the league, 12, but like 11 and 12 are eliminated, and then 8, 9, 10, or 7, 8, 9, 10 play to try and get in the playoffs. We were
That's right.
supposed to be in that group that try and play to get in the playoffs, and we ended up finishing like 4th. We went on a crazy run at the end, like we won like 15 of our last 16 or something. And then, so that was the overachieving part. Like the fans, we could do no wrong, basically. Like it's just a good feeling as an import to, like, there's so much pressure on you,
And
and it
you
was
can
just going so
thrive on
well.
that, right? You thrive on
Yeah,
it.
it was unreal. Like I honestly can't even put it into words. Like the stretch we had at the end, it was like we almost weren't even thinking about winning or losing. We were just playing and we were just rolling over people. And then we did lose in the first round of the playoffs, but basically everything past the regular season was just a cherry on top. So it was great.
Yeah, no, man, those German fans, when they get behind you, it's like, it's as cool as it gets. So, how do you
Yeah.
decide then to leave there to go to the Aalborg Pirates, which I've played there as well?
Come on. Um, yeah, I actually didn't know this at the time. They actually gave an offer to my agent at the time, Nauheim, to re-sign me, and my agent never told me, which I didn't know. Um,
What?
I would I would have went back in a heartbeat because like one of my best buddies to this day was an import on that team with me, and he signed there. And like,
What's his
yeah,
name?
I don't know what happened. Cody Sylvester, he's from Kelowna.
Yeah, he was a good player, right? He had a brother too that was good. What did he?
Dustin, yeah,
Dust. Yeah, I play. He one of them was. Yeah, they would play in that league. Yeah.
yeah, and yeah, I don't know. There was a bit of a miscommunication there, and then just throughout the summer, Denmark came up, and I had heard great things about Aalborg. Obviously, the year before I went there, they won the championship, which was obviously a big draw, and they were going to be in Champions Hockey League, which was obviously a big draw, and yeah, took it up to Denmark.
Aalborg, yeah, nice arena. Little strange how you come out the bottom there.
Yeah.
But I played for Sunderjuski.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was a gold helmet.
Yeah. I had
Helmet.
a.
I won a gold helmet in that league, by the way.
You're a winner, eh?
Oh, you didn't. Oh, I don't know. I guess so, but no, I do have a
You're a
gold.
Europe. You're a European. Did you win a North America?
My Western Michigan hockey team was not very good. Um, but in the coast we lost in the finals. In the AHL, I was a fighter. But no, I didn't. Oh, I won in junior though.
Oh,
That's
you're a
like,
Europe winner.
so when you said like you learned from Patrick Waugh and all that, like when I was in junior, I learned from Barrett Eggerts, episode 5, and like the captain of that team, like Fish, like there was a bunch of guys that like taught me how to win that year, and like we did learn how to win. We played 3 or 4 best of
Right.
sevens, and we ended up winning it. And you learn a lot about what you can get through and what it takes,
Yeah,
and you have to go through that and figure out how to actually do it before you actually
for
are
sure.
right.
Absolutely.
But yeah, no. So in Aalborg, Thomas Spelling was on your team. I played with him and Sunderjuski. And I always talk about how good he could wrist shot a puck. Did you ever see that?
He is probably one of the rawest talents I've ever stepped on the ice with, for sure. Um, when I was there in Aalborg, he was a special dude. And I still think to this day, I still talk about him to guys, like probably one of the most just raw, skilled guys that I ever played with, honestly. And yeah, he had a good year when I was there with him for sure.
Oh, yeah, and he can shoot a puck. Like he was one of the first kids where I was like, you're not that big, you're not that strong, but then he would just get the flex of the stick and it would just zoom off of it, right?
Yeah. Did you ever hear his story about him going to Rangers camp?
Not really. I heard it didn't go well. He got drafted 5th round and then just like it didn't go good and he never went back, right?
Yeah. So he went, he obviously got drafted, and he's like, I think he's just a big homebody. Like he's a quiet kid, and I think he just loves Denmark. And he would first told them, I guess, he wasn't going to camp, and then he ended up going. His agent like told him to go or whatever. And I think he made like the first set of cuts or something. and he was going to play like in an NHL exhibition game or something like that. And it was like the morning of the game, and he basically just booked his own flight back to Denmark. The team was like calling him, "Where are you?" and stuff, and he's like, "Just tell them I don't want to be there," and he just left. So, like that
Um,
tells you.
Gee, yeah, no, but like that was right when I played with him, was like right
Yeah,
then. He was like 20 years old, and I didn't play on the same line as him that often because I had him playing with Kim Lukasov or whatever his name is, who is the captain to teach him how to be. But by the playoffs, I was playing with him quite a bit, and like that kid could skate. He could
yeah,
do everything, and I get it. Like I could see him being like that, and like the thing is like hockey's not everything. If that's
no, absolutely not.
if you're happy in Denmark, then like, and you don't want to be a New York Ranger or play in Hartford and get bussed around everywhere and whatever that life would be for him, like how he's not wrong to
Oh no,
be the
absolutely
star
not.
in Denmark, right?
Yeah, no, he was an unreal kid. I liked him a lot, and obviously, like I said, he's just purely talent.
Yeah, no, it's actually kind of making me really embarrassed because I just realized that the Denmark hockey t-shirt I wear sometimes is actually given to me from him when he was on Team Denmark. And that means I haven't got new clothes in since
Keepsake,
2013.
keepsake.
Yeah, I guess so. I'm really proud of Thomas Spelling making Team Denmark, I guess. Okay, so Aalborg Pirates, how did you do? Because in the playoffs there, it's the weirdest league in the world. I've said that. Okay, hold on. The UK league might be the weirdest league in the world because they play for whoever wins the regular season as the champion.
Yeah,
But in Denmark, if you finish first and the 8 teams make the playoffs, out of the bottom 5 to 8, you get to pick whoever you want to
yeah,
play. Like
yeah.
that's nuts. Like just
It
play 8.
is. Yeah, I don't know, honestly. I had an okay year there. I had an impeccable start. I think I had like 16 points in the first 5 games or something like that. Um, and then I went through some injury troubles, and honestly, after I came back from my injury, it was a tough year. We didn't have really good team chemistry or camaraderie. There was a big divide between the imports and the local players, which was tough. And yeah, it really wasn't the experience I was hoping for, but all in all, I guess a good learning experience. It made me realize like how much team camaraderie really pushes a team forward, and when you don't have it, it really pulls you back. And we ultimately didn't do well at the end. We lost in the second round, but I think we were really supposed to win.
I totally know what you mean. When you don't have team camaraderie, I went from, like I said in Bietigheim, from winning it where we all loved each other. We were all family, from the Germans to the imports. Everybody was just a good person. And
Yeah,
by the end, there were imports, like we all had different backgrounds, right? Like we were we were from different parts of the world and we didn't have much in
yeah,
common. And then um the imports were scoring a lot and the Germans weren't. And then all of a
yeah,
sudden they're trying to point the fingers at them and they're pointing the fingers at them. And you're like, I'm supposed to be a leader on this team and I can't even control this because this is
yeah,
so outrageous. Yeah, there's some strange situations when it comes to the imports against the whatever it is, the natives of whatever league.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It wasn't ideal for sure. It was. It turned into a really tough year, to be honest. It was. It's tough to put it into words. Honestly, it makes me a little upset thinking about it because we did have a good team, and like you just can't put a finger on like why you just couldn't. I don't know what it was, to be honest. Just between the local guys and the imports, it just wasn't like a good mix at all.
Yeah, and it is interesting because then you do go. So I get why you probably leave and how you end up in Cardiff, but you go from that to I've been in Cardiff and I know what team camaraderie is like. And I
Yeah,
know the type of people you were playing with. You're playing with Richie, you're playing with Bouncy, you're playing with Marty, you're playing with Matthew Myers, you're playing with Haddad, you're playing with all these guys that are like we're just teammates. Like it is not
yeah,
about us, it's not about points, it's about winning games, right?
yeah, yeah. Honestly, I will be dead honest with you. Um, I think the toughest part of me walking away from hockey at the time that I did was like I was supposed to go back to Cardiff. I probably would go back again, and just not having the chance to do that again. Cardiff is a special place. It's obviously, as you would know, something really special there with the new management and the new owners, and um, it's tough to even put it into words. Like just saying those guys' names puts a smile on my face, and I had an unbelievable time in Cardiff, both on and off the ice.
Well, and it's the people that are there, and like when they did get those guys on their team back in the day when I was playing there, like Todd sees who people are. He knows who everybody is. He
Yeah,
knows what type of person they are. He knows who he wants. But yeah, now like I'm letting him know which type of players want to come, now that I'm a podcast slash agent. And he's like, well, it's up to the new coach. It's up to the new coach. I'm like, really? Like you give him like that much freedom? That's just up to him. Well,
yeah.
you know what?
Well,
It makes sense. It makes sense because then when things don't work out, Todd's still fine. It wasn't his decision. Todd's gonna be there forever.
I'm I'm sure he's got his fingers on the pulse there still, and I'm sure without a doubt they're going to bring back some quality guys, and the new guys they bring in are going to fill the holes of the people
Oh no,
that are walking away.
that place is special, and you're right. Like it's what makes retiring from hockey hard. It's what
Yeah,
make it like if you don't experience playing in Cardiff, I bet you it's a lot easier to get out of hockey, right? Because because like then you're playing in like say Aalborg or say like for me Helbron Germany where like it wasn't that great of a situation all the time. We
yeah,
had good players, but like everything else just wasn't good. So you can't win that way. And it's like, then you go to Cardiff and they're like, what sticks do you want? That's very important. And then they give you the nice apartments and then you see the city you get to live in. And I've talked about it so much on this podcast, but you get it, right?
yeah, yeah. It's like even aside from that stuff, it's just like when you show up in the morning to the rink, it's the best time you could ever imagine. Like, and even playing for Lordo, like Lordo's a special guy. He's very passionate about the game. He's got some interesting tactics, to coach and practice and stuff like that. And you don't even care because the guys that you're doing it with are hilarious, just having a good time, doing it together. It was unbelievable. And then everything you said, like the equipment, the city, the apartments, all that stuff, the fans, all of that is just like a bonus to basically getting to go to the rink every day. And it's an unbelievable time. Like you're laughing the whole time you're there, which is, for me, everywhere else has been unheard of for sure.
It's totally different experience, and like it's funny because you get it because you played in Germany, which it was good when you're doing good. You never
Yeah.
played on a
Yeah.
team where you're playing bad and the whole city hates you, which that's an experience. That's a whole different thing. But then you go to Denmark where like it's good and everything's fine, but like but then you go to Cardiff and like just the camaraderie of the people, but it's not even just like you said, it's every practice is fun. Every time you go on the ice is funny. Everything's funny, but then you meet the fans too, and like
Yeah.
like and I'm saying this in the nicest way possible. They're crazy, but they're crazy in the best possible way. Hockey fans could be crazy. there's hockey fans in other cities where you're like, can you please just give me a little space? Like just a little bit. I've just please back off just a touch. But then when you get to Cardiff, you're like, let's all have beers. Let's all get together. Like this
Yeah.
is so much
Yeah.
fun. And they're great people, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy. Like, yeah, everybody who has played hockey has dealt with their fair share of, fans that might get a little close or
The
like
close
don't leave you
talkers.
alone. Yeah, it's like, but yeah, you're totally right. And even beyond the fans, like I don't even think we mentioned the people in the front office, like from Katrina to Corky to Fee, who was running the social media. Everybody is just on board with having a good time and making everything work. And then on top of that, you're winning games and you're successful. It's just a good place to be.
And that's Todd Kelman. That's what he does. And you're right. It doesn't matter who the coach is that I've never talked to or met, but like it really doesn't matter because Todd knows what's going on and he knows
Yeah,
people and he knows who's a good person. He knows who's not quite pulling in the right direction. And that's like what you said about the front office is like he's like hand selected those people to
yeah,
be there. Like Katrina was just a fan when I got to Cardiff. And he was like, she has so much passion for this team.
yeah,
She's a good person. She loves it. And like talk about a great a signing, I guess, right?
absolutely. She
Yeah,
does everything.
exactly. And yeah, that's Todd. Like he knows what to do. Yeah. Learned a lot from that
Mastermind.
guy. Learned a lot from that guy. So you would have played again the second year, but I guess then COVID happens, right before you're gonna win the whole thing,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, that's crushing for sure. We were well on our way to uh, hoisting another trophy for the Devils, I believe.
Yeah, and
But
you never get that night.
yeah, I would like I couldn't even imagine. Like that's another thing. Like everybody who's in that room had won multiple, like in that city with those people. I just couldn't even imagine what it would be like to win with everybody on the same page. I can't, yeah, I'm blabbering here, but I wish we like obviously COVID didn't happen because I think we were 4 games away from being able to raise the trophy and then probably having a good shot in playoffs as well. So it was really, really disappointing at the time.
No, and like it still would be like that shit doesn't just go away. Um,
Yeah,
it really doesn't. Like, that shit hurts, and especially when you're that close and you guys were gonna win it, and then all this happens, and then you never get to like you haven't played there again. I hope you get to if that's what you want to do, but like I think you're kind of a big deal that you don't like. I don't know if you're realizing that, but like if it's so, I guess the next Wally night would have to be at like a Boston Levi concert where I like crowd surf, spray painted, or I don't even know, right?
I mean, if you want to show up and do that, I will make sure security does not lay a hand on you.
No, yeah, no, I, I'm curious what's going to happen moving forward with you because I think listening to your music, like I just, I'm not sure how you play hockey anymore, but you are still good at that. So it's kind of hard, right?
Yeah, honestly, like I think for anybody to predict like what is going to happen with music, and just in terms of me, is sort of putting the cart before the horse. But all signals would point to it being a success. And like I don't want to speak, like I'm cocky or something, but I think, like I said before, I've got the right man in my corner. And not only him, I've got a good team behind me in terms of the new music family that I've formed, and I've met a lot of good people, and a lot of people that have helped me out and that believe in me, and um, it's happened so fast, and Yeah, I hope someday that I'm filling stadiums, not playing hockey, but playing music. And um, I do hope one day that maybe the Viola Arena is one of them. Um, I would like to make that happen if that's a possibility.
Oh, that place would be jammed. That place would be jammed. Like, my gosh, I saw them in the bar. It was just disgusting the way they were drooling over you. Like,
Yeah, I had it crossed my mind like weeks ago, um, and I just messaged my manager and said like, what would it take in terms of just like getting gear over there and stuff like that to play a show in Cardiff and stuff like that. He goes, well, it would be a lot of work, but if you think like you could draw in the fans, like it would be 110% worth it. And I said, well, I haven't messaged Todd yet, but when the day comes, I will. And um, I think it could be a big possibility of happening for sure.
dude, that would be so cool. Like,
Yeah,
that would be so cool. I
yeah,
actually kind of hope that now listening to you and like I could tell you still got the itch, which, it's hard to get rid of, but like, man, you're so good at singing that like um I know you want to win in Cardiff, and like I hope that happens for you if that's what you want. But like, with what I've seen you do in, I guess you were a swamp rabbit, like you were a swamp rabbit like less than a year ago, and now I'm seeing the shit I'm seeing out there, and I'm like, he's still thinking about playing hockey. Like, you only, it's like pigs with cancer. It's like,
yeah,
I know you
yeah.
love it. I know you love hockey, but like,
You're
come on,
curing
guy, come on.
cancer, brother.
Yeah. And it's like, dude, um, like your song, like Feel It All. It's like you listen to it and you're like, I don't think you're a hockey player anymore. Sorry. Like,
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, it is crazy. I totally agree with you, and maybe I just don't want to fully admit it right now that hockey might be totally behind me. I think I've come to grips that it's behind me for right now, but I always sort of hung on to the idea that if I wanted to play again, I could somewhere. Um, but again, like if this music thing keeps going the way it's going and I get a chance to play some shows for people, I think the next time I'll be in Cardiff, we'll probably be playing music.
no, I agree. And I hope you don't become too big time to not hit the west coast of Ontario, because not many people make it out this way.
We got to start somewhere, so I'm sure the first few shows will be a little more homier than once we get rocking and rolling. But um, no, I don't think I could ever be big time or too big time for the hockey community that I've been a part of. I mean, since I've released music, the hockey community has been unreal in terms of support and just sharing it on social media. Um, and I think that's where my story differs from everyone else. I made a pretty good name for myself playing hockey, and then just having that following of all the teams that I've been able to play on and all the guys that I've met. Um, I think it's just sort of a head start above everybody else who just starts a band out of nowhere, sort of thing.
Well, do you want me to say my thing now? Are you ready?
Sure, brother.
Um, when I don't really know you and I do my pregame speech, I jump out of, the coach's room, and you go out, play a game. I don't really know you. I see everything you're doing on social media and everything else. And I was like, Jesus, this guy is like, he's legit. He's the real deal. But then, like, when I knew I wanted to reach out to you, and I knew, like, I really, really yearned to have you on the podcast, was when your album was released. The people that shared it on social media that I saw was Pigs, Marty, like the people that I hold truest and dearest to my
Yeah.
were like they were writing like, you gotta listen to this, you gotta see this guy. And I was like, this guy isn't just a musician. He's not just, Boston Levi. He's also Mike McNamee. And he's also a beauty that played for the Devils, that like all my best friends are saying this guy's a beauty and they're supporting him.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, like, obviously, if we were teammates at one point, we would have got along just fine.
Yeah, I think we would have been I think we would have been okay. No, those like I said, like the stuff and time, like the stuff I learned in Cardiff and the time that I had, like that team is something I honestly I think special for everybody who was involved. Like our group chat, that team group chat, it's been like a year and a half now. There's hundreds of messages in it almost every day. We still chat and shoot the shit and
That's great. That's great. I got a podcast though, so I get to text with lots of people too. But I was kicked out of that group like 5 years ago. So thanks for bringing it up.
I just think that like I've never experienced anything like that, just
I
we
know.
just enjoyed each other, and it's a
I,
good time. Like every day group chat, it's always a laugh, and yeah, obviously those guys are supporting me, and that's that's worth its weight in gold, really.
it's yeah, no, and I remember the group chats, and like I like even in Germany, like we never had a group chat, and like I'd never
Yeah,
been a part of one. And then you get to Cardiff, and then all of a sudden there's this group chat, and it is so absolutely ridiculous that like there's some days you can't keep up with it. Like there's some days where like you can't show anybody what's on it. It's incredible. Like it really is.
it's a good time. It's a good time.
Yeah, and like, but that's team camaraderie, and that's what wins. Like
Yeah,
when everybody gets along and everybody's having fun, and those are those people in Cardiff that make that happen, right?
yeah, I totally agree. What I have 3% left on my cell phone. I hate
You're
to.
about done, dude. I think we got nothing left other than the only thing is you're from out the Ottawa way is stayinblue.ca. If you put in Wally 20, that's 20% off a 3-night stay in the Collingwood Blue Mountain area. So
No way.
if anybody wants to go to the Collingwood Blue Mountain area, I know I didn't do the promo this time, but Wally 20 on their website at stayinblue.ca. Wally 20 is going to get you 20% off a minimum 3-night stay, folks. Just saying. But anyways, thank you so much for coming on, because like when you become big time and I can be like, and I get like, and you're already getting there, I could be like, that guy was on my pod. So you know what, folks, I'm a big deal too, right?
Well, when I need you to pump up the crowd, I know who to get after.
Oh, I'm not sure about that. I'm more of a hot. I'm not sure if I'm not sure if I'm allowed to do that again. That was a one-time
Only
deal.
if you spray paint a lightning bolt on your back.
Lightning bolt, is that what we're going with?
Yeah, that's my logo.
Okay, well then I'll do it. If you want
I
me
will.
to, I'll do it, because you came on my podcast and now you're going to
There you
become
go.
big time. So thank you, sir.
There you go. Thanks for having me.
Hey, buddy. And whatever happens with music, hockey, I can tell by the person you are, you're going to be very successful. And it was very nice getting to know you. So thank you.
No sweat, brother. Thanks.